Are you ready?
Start.
Here we go.
There has been an awakening.
It's the best intro that ever was or will be.
Have you felt it?
Hello, what have we here?
You guys are so funny.
Hello.
Holy shit. It ain't C3 penis face and R2 dickhead.
Hello there.
Looking? Found someone you have, I would say.
May the force be with us. Fucking A.
Good day, Galaxy. Rogue Squadron Podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to let the people cheer for a second.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. I say that again. I said it. Episode 121. I am Mopar.
I'm Commander Cody.
I think we got the giggles, but we don't know why. We just got done
I am extra giggly, and I don't know why. Good call.
calling you out. We just got done recording our extra video for our Patreon members. We go into some like happenings in history between the histories of Mopars, and so if you guys want to check that out, head on over to Patreon page. If you're not already a Patreon member, patreon.com/Rogue Squad Pod.
And if you are motherfucking patrons, don't forget to actually look at the shit.
Yeah,
because you're giving us Dateries, and then you're not going on and you're not getting the redemptions of the Dateries.
The redemption.
You gotta go there to get the things. So watch out.
So we appreciate everybody that's already on and already patrons of us. If you are a huge fan, which oh my god, I'm gonna forget his name. So we did get a drunken email again.
Logan Mars.
I
couldn't forget it because he had a planet as his last fucking name. Logan Pluto.
Pluto.
I remembered it 100%.
So we do appreciate him reaching out to us because we always yell at everybody to fucking reach out one way or another. DM us or send us an email, roguesquadronpodcast@gmail.com, which is what he did. So he said he works on, sounded like a farm, and as he's harvesting the moisture out there, he listens to us danguses. So we appreciate your listens. Like I said, if you're a huge fans, head on over to the Patreon page and do it.
Classic Skywalker storyline right there. Harvesting moisture, listening to fucking hilarious podcasts.
Classic storyline. Now you're destined for greatness. Either that or you're going to lose a hand on Bespin.
Speaking of shouting, Scribota Dones just popped in, said hey. Also, so Land Grant had their 3-year anniversary party yesterday. Me and Tommy Boy attended with the wifely Hobbit. Got this cool little koozie, and that's about it. Some stickers. That's it. But it was cool. Bands, awesome beers. They took a few of their staple beers and added like different variations on them, like a citrus version of the Greenskeeper and like a triple hop dry goodness of the Stiff Arm, things like that. It was a fun party. We are doing our beer with them for The Last Jedi, our custom collaboration beer with the brewery in Columbus. November 20th, I will be at the brewery being their intern and their workhorse, trying to fucking stir hops and malt and shit like that and learn how the process of the brew goodness works.
Intern Squad Pod.
Yes,
do
exactly.
Drunken man labor.
But yeah, I got to use my koozie from now on while I'm doing the show.
Nice. So what we've got for this episode is abso-fucking-lutely nothing. We're going to do some... This is a leftover podcast. I can't speak.
I ran out of time last week because I was in Denver, so we got to catch up on everything that we missed and continue the speculation squad pod about Last Jedi, as we are only 53 days, by the time you hear this, 52 days away. Less than 2 months, man. It's fucking... I feel like an old person, like old person small talk, like, oh, how's the weather today? Yeah, it's a hot one out there. That's how I feel like when I'm talking about the approaching days of a movie. Like, man, guys, we're only like 5 weeks away. Feels like that every fucking time. We We've been waiting forever. We're getting closer. And then we like can't believe that we're only 6 weeks away. And then we can't believe that we're sitting in the theater right now watching the movie. Just feel like I'm repeating myself all the fucking time, but I'm super excited.
I am too. I don't have a koozie for my beer. So are you already drinking your beer review beer?
I did. Yeah. We had to warm up with some Battlefield goodness earlier. And then we had to do the Patreon episode. So yeah, I had a beer or two before we got rolling.
I'll show you mine here. So I've got Star Hill with 2 R's because it's extra special. Star Hill. Well, no, you could see the first letter. It's like scratched off. So it's resonate, I'm assuming, but it could be peasonate.
Resonate spelled with an O. R-E-S-O.
Then what is it?
Oh, maybe resonate as in resin, but resin like...
I'll have to check one of the other bottles.
I was going to say, it's time to do research, Squad Pod.
But it's Star Hill Brewery. It's their Imperial Red IPA, so it's probably going to be kind of similar to our Rouge one. I'm going to look it up here. Star Hill.
Why would it be spelled that way? Is what I want to fucking know. What's the brewery you said?
Star Hill Brewery, but with 2 R's.
Ooh.
Reviver. Well, this is Resonate. Jesus, what is happening? They might have changed names.
Resinous flavors mingle with caramel malts.
Oh, that's the red IPA. So I'm sorry, this is an Imperial Red IPA.
Yeah.
So that might be the difference here. Okay. Yeah. So I'm. This is the first time I've seen these guys, so I'm not very familiar with them, and I have yet to drink this. So I am actually pretty excited about it. I'm still trying to find it on their website here. Here it is. Yeah, Resonate. Okay.
From
kind
Oregon.
of in a weird. It comes in a 4-pack, so with it being Imperial, it is 7.7%. So it is a tad higher than normal. Red IPA just sounded good. I've been having like Pilsners and just regular IPAs lately. So
yeah, Dakota was fucking talking mad shit in the group chat earlier about IPAs.
He wrote that essay we talked about last week that, hey, if you like IPAs, I hate you.
That's the first thing I thought of. If you like IPAs, you obviously don't like beer, so fuck off. I have a Seventh Son, Proliferous. I realized that when I was in the store today that Seventh Son is one of my first like favorite craft breweries in Columbus, and I don't think we reviewed one of theirs in the show at all.
No, and it's hard to say. I don't want to call them like not average, but it's like everybody knows because they have like they're like 2 like solid beers that they always have.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Is not even that they always have. It's that's the only thing that's in stores is the American Strong Ale and the IPA, which is the Humulus Nimbus. They only have like 2 beers usually in stores. Look at this kid. Look at this guy.
I can melted just by sniffling it. No, I really, really always enjoy. Really, always standardly love.
Definitely love and pleasure. Seventh Son.
Seventh Son, yeah. And I will give you the shout out because we were still in our infancy, but you were started drinking that, and I hadn't had it like until 6 months after you said. Yeah. And yes, their what's their Humulus Nimbus?
Yeah, that was my first favorite one.
It's so fucking good.
This is called the Proliferous. It's a double IPA, 8.2% and 85 IBUs. Double IPA. Looking like a goddamn kid drew this on Easter morning as the can label.
Yeah, it kind of looks like every pastel color you can put on one thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on the Star Hill Brewery's website here, and it says about the Resonate. This is an Imperial Red IPA packs hop punch packs. They need to get. It sounds like Mopar wrote this. This Imperial Red IPA packs hop punch and high gravity.
That makes sense. You just drunk. We're trying to read it.
Yeah, exactly. Resinous flavors mingle with caramel malts used to create its dazzling red color, evergreen and citrus notes. I always like when they put like evergreen or like a tree-ish cedar, fucking you know. I always like that. It makes it earthy and it's good.
Yeah, I do.
So I'm gonna be drinking this right now. Year of origin. So they made this for this year.
Mine says mosaic and a cast of supporting hops give this DIPA layers of tropical fruit and citrus with a bracing pine bitterness in the finish. So there you go, pine. Light English crystal malts add honeyed sweetness and a rich golden color. I am pulling a Mopar today and not pouring this shit out, so I don't know what the fuck the color is, but I'm drinking it anyway.
Let's see. So this is out of Charlottesville, Virginia, Star Hill Brewery. I just took my first sip. It's fucking delicious.
Yeah, this is wonderful.
This is I kind of always liked the red IPAs, but with it being an Imperial, I got scared that it'd be kind of burning of the inside throat.
Well, this is an 85 IBU, 8.5%, and it doesn't taste that strong or that bitter. It's balanced so well that like you can. That's one thing about IPAs. Like Dakota, you're complaining about IPAs right now. I feel like maybe you haven't had one that's in the perfect balance to make you appreciate what the flavor is supposed to be. Like this one it's extremely bitter and it's very strong. It's a double, but it's balanced so well that you can actually like get the bitterness in there and appreciate it, and it actually has flavor with it.
Yeah. I'm right along that. It actually has a small, quicker description on here. It says a dank red IPA full of resinous piney hop character balanced by toasty malt.
Toasty roasties.
And this is kind of one of those that I can actually leave sit in my mouth, like on my tongue, and it's not like over bitter, like burning shit.
Yeah.
What is the perfect IPA? Depends on how bitter you can take, because a lot of people, as soon as you say bitter, they're just like, fuck that.
There isn't a perfect, obviously, but like Tommy Boy, talk to Tommy Boy in the group chat, because he didn't like IPAs for a while, and we gradually got him into it because he was like pale ales, and we just made the transition. Excuse me. Maybe
that might be the spot to start is pale ales, because that kind of gives you an idea of what an IPA is built on, but it's not quite as bitter and they're quite a bit more drinkable.
Or try session IPAs from where I forget where you're from, Idaho, I think. So you should get Elysian and stuff. So don't go with the Space Dust because that's like an 8%. It's pretty strong. But get like a session IPA is usually going to be a little bit milder. It's lower alcohol for sure, but
New Belgium Ranger, they have a session IPA that's decent.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just it depends on where you're at, where you're coming from.
Yeah.
So
when you come to Columbus, we'll have you. You can try the Land Grant Greenskeeper.
I completely agree, Brian. He says try Deschutes Fresh Squeezed.
Yes.
It's a good mid-range, and that one's super piney, and I fucking love it. Deschutes is always solid.
Speaking of, the last time, so we had T-Dot on the last time, was like a fucking long time ago, but we had one of those Deschutes IPAs since he's in Portland, and he was like, I hate IPAs, but this beer is fucking good.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go.
There you go. That's the show. Goodbye.
Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. I told you I was going to bring up the list of our discussion topics here. It's like I said, it's going to be a leftover episode.
We have to rate the beer.
3.
That's the whole point of a beer review.
3 out of 3.
I'm also going to say 3. It's easier when we're not drinking the same one and I can make my own fucking opinions and decisions and shit.
I just want to make sure if we're going to give a beer a 3, it doesn't take away from all the other 3s, because it's. I feel like some of the 3s are in way high, like they could be 3.5s, and then when we're on the border of something, it's just like we're taking away the value of the past 3. I don't know. Shut the fuck up.
That's the love and hate about the 3-star rating system.
You're forced to make a hard decision.
It makes it simple, but some once in a while. Whatever the fuck I was trying to say. Every once in a while, you're going to have to make a tough decision. Tangerine IPA I had warming up for this shit, the Stone. So I'm going to make sure I check that shit in as well. Boom.
Excellent. So wait, did you even discuss how was Denver? We didn't really talk about it in.
Yeah, not in much detail. It was awesome. I'm a big fan of the weather. I'm a big fan of the mountains. Like I mentioned in the last episode, it does the city part that we were staying in does feel a lot like Columbus. So It felt like home, but we were in the shadow of the mountains. The weather was awesome. There's no humidity at all.
The Empire.
Because it's so fucking high up. There's like no humidity at all. It was like perfect. Super dry all the time. wake up, it's 30 degrees. By the time it's noon, it's like 70 again. That's my preferred weather. I love that because I love when it's cold at night. Mountains, parks everywhere, trails, ski hills, fucking awesome breweries. Like Denver breweries are out of control. And I mentioned this to somebody local, and they explained it to me because however the laws work, Denver has had, well, I should say Colorado in general, has had more lenient liquor laws for a longer time. So they've been able to establish craft breweries earlier and have them, they just been around longer doing craft beer and everything. Like every single beer I had, even like Saisons and shit that I'm not a huge fan of all the time, were on point, 100%. Every beer I had was fucking awesome. And there was one there, Lowdown, I think it was called, that reminded me a lot of Actual. They had something that was kind of like a photon with a bit of citrus. Like they had a lot of beers that reminded me of the Actual brewing beers. That one was amazing. But like I said, every fucking brewery I had there was great. And I went to my first, I don't know if it will actually like appear if I put the phone up to the fucking camera. But the first of those breweries where there's like 40 taps on the wall and you go in and like scan your card and you pour your own beer for the whole time that you're there. So you can grab whatever you want and try a ton of different ones without having to go to the bar every time. Let's see if this shows up.
Okay.
This kind of thing.
So you kind of like ring up your own stuff?
Yeah, they just give you like a card and it charges you per ounce and you just walk up and just pour as much as you want of any kind of beer that you want.
Self-serve.
Cool. Yeah, self-serve, which was awesome. Which I've seen those, so it was cool. It was cool to actually go to one. But yeah, all the breweries were fucking incredible. Mountains were great. Food was great. Environment was great. Weather. Yeah, I recommend if anyone has never been to Denver that you should definitely go.
Agreed. So I was in southern Jersey. That place is interesting.
Yeah.
Last week.
It's a bit different locale.
Yeah. The one thing I did, I was like in Atlantic City, which I didn't do a lot of work in Atlantic City because it's like extremely touristy. Like even driving in, it was just like, this is clearly like they're trying to be a resort, some shit. Like, I don't know. It just looked kind of old and danky. But I did learn something from one of the locals. They said they do have 24-hour beer spots.
Nice.
So yeah, it's all day, every day that you can go and buy alcohol. I was like, I've never heard that before.
Is Ohio, they cut off at a certain time, right?
Midnight. Like, you can't buy alcohol past 1. I'm sorry. You can't buy alcohol past 1 unless you're at a bar. And then those are open usually till 2:30.
I remember specifically that we were at a party in college. Not us, but just in general. I was at a party in college and we went to go on a beer run at like 12:50. We got to the fucking store. We got all the beer. We got in line. It was one of those self-checkouts. We scanned everything. And by the time the lady actually walked over to check our IDs, it was like 1:01 a.m. and she refused to sell us anything. And we were just so fucking mad. Maybe it was 2:01 or something like that. But yeah, I remember there is a cutoff. So yeah, 24 hours. It changes the game, man.
Changes the game. Same game, different rules.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Episode topics here. We're going to be discussing some Baby Driver. We talked a little bit about Dark Souls. I might bounce some other stuff off of Commander here. Yeah. Commander accidentally saw Kingsman. So you said new office apartment. You're going to be moving here within what? Next few months?
Yeah, before the end of the year.
And then land grant brewing our beer for November.
For the Last Jedi party, and I already talked about that.
All right. Want to just jump into Baby Driver? Are we solid on 2 3s?
Yeah, man. I really do like this. I want to have it on tap at their place. And I wish that they fucking sold more than 2 beers in the store. 3 beers in the store.
2 beers.
Oh, well, we can talk about the new apartment spot first because I'm going to be right by Seventh Son. That's kind of why I wrote it down. So anyways, so we're moving. My wife and I are moving down, not downtown. We always say downtown because it's compared to where we are now in the suburbs. It actually is. But down in like short North Italian village of Columbus. So we'll be, if you live here, we'll be on 4th Street, and we're only a few blocks away from 7th Sun. So, and Hoofhearted is another brewery that's like right there in our actual building, which it'll be interesting to try some of their beers. I don't think I've seen any of their stuff in stores before. I think it's one of those where you have to actually go to the brewery to get the stuff. But I've loved 7th Sun, and I've only been to the brewery itself like twice. So I haven't had a lot of their beers. I've only had like 4 or 5, and every one has been great. But I'm excited to actually, try a wide range of their things. So
stocked, nice,
stocked.
Excellent.
I'm impressed. This is a double, and it is so smooth. I am pleased. I am more than pleased.
No, I'm kind of on the same page because this is close to 8%, and it's doesn't drink like an 8%.
Yeah,
which can be scary, but that's why it comes in a 4-pack because you don't want to get fucked and start taking your pants off when you're at the shop over here.
With a nosebleed, trying to drink beer and talk about Star Wars.
With a nosebleed. All right, guys. Baby Driver. Now, going into this, I had heard nothing but good things. Rotten Tomatoes, it was, when I first looked at it, it was like one of the highest ratings they've ever had. It was like 98%. It's backed off to 93 for the critics.
So pretty good.
And the audience score is an 87.
Interesting. I've seen no scores or ratings. All I've seen is that James Bond and Kylo Ren are in the movie. That's all that I've really seen about it.
Kylo Ren and James Bond aren't in the movie.
I must be thinking of something else then.
Yeah, it's...
Wait, what the hell? Hang on.
It's got Kevin Spacey, Jamie Foxx.
Hang on.
Yeah, there's no Kylo Renner. Yeah.
I'm thinking of something completely different. All right, hang on.
But so it's about this kid, Baby, who basically drives for criminals, and Kevin Spacey's kind of the lord that like puts all this stuff together, so they're making money. And Baby's
Logan Lucky. Logan Lucky.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Bagful, Wagful.
He's kind of the dedicated driver because he's so good. There's a lot of good actors and actresses in this movie. It holds it together. It's extremely simple plot wise. I didn't think it was too crazy. Obviously, you get like 4 criminals together, and one of them's a kid. They're all gonna like naughty like each other. So it was like you saw that coming. But the movie was put together very well. The soundtrack was the coolest aspect of the movie because you can see in every picture of the goddamn movie, you see Baby, he's got earbuds in. So he's not a mute, but he kind of acts like a mute when he's on the shit, and he's always listening to music. So instead of it being a soundtrack, it's what he's listening to is basically the soundtrack for the movie.
That's awesome.
So it isn't interesting. So you get to hear like what's going through his, well, obviously headphones, but like what kind of mental state he's in too. Because he'll put on some fucking like punk, and he'll just start like rocking his head, and then shit's gonna happen because he's getting hyped. So the music's getting hyped, and so that's a really cool aspect. I've never really heard anything like that, and that's kind of a cool way to kind of flip the script.
Well, is it kind of like Guardians, where he has that mix CD or cassette for whatever from his mom? So like it's half intense action score and half that mixtape of like 70s pop hits and stuff.
So it's like that, but to an extreme, because basically all the music in the movie is coming out of his earbuds.
I like that.
And it also they play with that too, because at one point he's driving and Jamie Foxx like gets mad at him. I forget what the guy's name is, but he grabs his buds and it pulls it out, and the music stops right away.
That's awesome.
So you like it kind of plays with you there. I thought it was a great movie. There was nowhere near 93 or 98 or whatever the fuck the people were saying. It was just very simple. It was fun to watch. It had a cool storyline. The plot was very bland. He like met a girl, wanted to get away, but he owed some fucking money. I don't know. There was cool cars, cool chases, but the plot just wasn't there for me. It was like, of course he's gonna try to get away. That's his fucking job.
I love your reviews of stuff that aren't Star Wars or Marvel. Just like Yeah, I was trying to do a bunch of this shit, and I wasn't having it. And I was just fucking doing this as a movie. Fucking, that's what it was.
But I mean, it's straightforward. It's Baby Driver, so obviously he's going to be driving, and you know he's going to, because for them to make a movie out of it, you know he's going to get in some trouble.
Of course,
and he's going to have to try to drive his way out of that too.
Yeah, it's one of those where you can always kind of predict what's about to happen. Yeah, which isn't the worst thing ever. You know, those things always end up in movies because they actually work. So
there is one point, and I'll spoil it. It's old. I mean, I bought it on Xbox, so. There is one point that it actually did surprise me because he kind of keeps hands off. Like all the other 3 or 4 criminals will go in and like do all the killing and do all that shit and get the money and run out. And he's legitimately just the driver. And all the other bad guys hate that because they feel like he doesn't have like his hand in the pot. Like all he is the driver.
Right.
But he's still getting like a quarter of the money or whatever. But and he kind of keeps his hands off. He doesn't have any blood on his hands. But at one point, the criminals start fighting each other, and he's sitting there. I think it's Jamie Foxx is yelling at him, and the dude's like nuts. Jamie Foxx's character's nuts, and Baby doesn't want to go for moral reasons, and instead, Baby drives the car into the back of a truck that has pipes coming out of it, and it stabs Jamie Foxx's character right in the fucking like chest and kills him. But it was like that was like the one thing I did not expect that. Yeah. And I probably just spoiled that for everybody that hasn't seen it. But so shit hits the fans.
Shit hits the fans.
Shit hits the fans. There's a lot of fans, only a little bit of shit, but it hit it all.
Shits don't hit all the fans.
Yeah, I mean, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. It was for like outside of like the simple plot. I think it was. Acting was great. It's Kevin Spacey, Jamie Foxx. You can't beat that. And then, it was exciting. Shit blowing up. Cool driving. The best driving was like the first scene, though. Like he was driving a WRX through the city and doing fucking crazy spins and bouncing the shit. It was like a pinball machine. I loved it. And then, like the rest of the movie, he was driving like Escalades. I'm like, this, you can barely get out of the fucking way.
There are a ton of fucking movies that I need to see, man. Recent stuff that like I really need to see. So Baby Driver, obviously I've heard of. Logan Lucky was the one that I was thinking of with Kylo Ren and James Bond that I need to see. Blade Runner. Everybody's been freaking the hell out about Blade Runner.
I assume, have you seen the first one?
No.
I assume we're not going to get it.
I want to watch it before I see it. Which means I need to watch it soon because it's going to be out of theaters in like another month or so.
Well, and Wonder Woman's out already, so I really want to buy that too.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. It's been out for a minute or two. But yeah, I definitely want to see Blade Runner in theaters. Now that I've seen Kingsman, I want to see the second one. I should probably watch Kingsman again though.
Well, sober. Okay. But what were your thoughts on the Kingsman? Because
I liked it a lot. So I don't remember much. I had edibles for the first time in Denver. And then by the end of the day, we watched Kingsman. So I don't know if I remember all of the movie. I remember my only complaint being some of the CGI and graphics looking a little unrealistic, which I may attribute to me visualizing them as overly realistic than they actually were. So I have no idea if they were actually that bad, but there were a few things like, spoiler, it's been out for a few years. The whole scene at the end where everybody's heads are exploding and it looks like just little puffs of like Play-Doh and shit for a few minutes. Mm-hmm. I thought that looked really, really, really bad CGI. Like by the time I was done with the movie, I texted Tommy Boy and I was like, was this like a indie low budget thing that ended up like being really successful? Because some of the CGI just didn't look fully Industrial Light and Magic. It wasn't like fully like ILM like quality, which I guess that's hard to achieve. But I just thought it was I don't know. I just thought it was a little cartoony, but like I said, I may chalk that up to me just being like in a different state of mind, being like, whoa, all this looks fucking crazy, man.
So with you saying that, and there's a couple obvious movies that pop in my head, but I've only seen one of them, and it was somewhat recently. When you talk about like crazy visuals, and like Pink Floyd The Wall is like abstract-y, crazy visuals that you really don't know what the fuck's going on. But the other one was Across the Universe. Have you ever seen that?
Across the Universe, is that the... I've heard the name.
I'm going off script here. Wasn't that the one...
Beatles thing, right?
It was the Beatles thing. But wasn't there like crazy abstract?
It's like a Beatles, like it's like a half musical thing, like Grease, but it's Beatles.
That? Yeah, so there's like a lot of acid trippy stuff going on. But I did not expect that. When I saw Across the Universe, I know it was like referring to the Beatles, but I did not expect it to be like that wacky of a movie.
Yeah.
And it kind of follows this guy who goes back and forth between it's Britain and America, but it's like on a weird timeline kind of ish. And yeah, so when you talked about like crazy visuals, I don't know why my mind just went to Pink Floyd The Wall and that, but so I do need to sit there and watch that again because that's a crazy movie. Yeah,
so like I said, it may not have been as crazy as I made it out to be, which was the thing.
Well, overall, now you got me all hyped, and now shut it off. Turn it off.
Well, now I want to go fucking watch it again anyways.
We're breaking up.
And the second one, I think, is out, actually.
The second what?
The second Kingsman. Or is about to be out.
No, I think it's been out for a while.
Yeah, so I want to go watch that. But anyways, I like the movie overall. Thought it was cool. The idea of, you know, the young, rebellious dude that doesn't think he has anything laid out for him. And then this awesome spy, like, informs him that he has this whole destiny to be another English spy, and he doesn't want to live up to it, but then he ends up doing it anyways.
Wait, how is can I ask a stupid question? How is this any different than James Bond?
It makes fun of like the whole spy movie thing.
I know, but you still are a spy movie, and you still have like the runt of the pack being the best one. Like 007 was never supposed to be the best one. Like he was always the guy who never followed the rules.
I'm absolutely not the right guy to say this.
I'm the wrong guy to ask the question too.
Yes, exactly. But I think we don't really see that from James Bond until Casino Royale. Like we, as viewers of movies, don't know that James Bond used to be a shit fuck and ended up coming of age and being an awesome spy. Like from day one, he's a badass. And that's how they made the movies back then. So
it's kind of the Han Solo effect where
exactly.
You're just a piece of shit until you come across the right people.
You fucking make the movie with Ron Howard and then you can just see it. Which actually, I'm actually fucking excited about that. Like maybe we get to see Han Solo being a little bitch for a little bit. And that would be okay. And everyone's going to be salty about it. But like,
he's supposed to be badass.
You don't understand, you fucks. Kylo Ren is supposed to be a little bitch for a short amount of time before he becomes a supreme fucking revving badass. So actually, it would be cool to see the Han Solo movie. Like, I hope it doesn't open on like Han being a kid or something. Like having some cliche shots of him being like a baby and then a kid and then a teenager and then an adult. Like that would be fucking terrible.
I don't think they need to.
No, they don't need to. But for him to be not that great at first, which actually would tie into when we catch up with him in 7, where Conja Club and fucking Conja Club knows that he's not that great at being a fucking smuggler. That would play into that too. But
so with that, because I'll forget, because we just talked about why I'll forget. If for all our Patreon members, if you're listening to this now,
in case you forgot, go to Patreon.
I forgot what I was talking about, but with that said, I'm listening to the audiobook of 7. There is so much dialogue in that scene between Han Solo and Conja Club and the Groovian Death Band. Guavian Death Band that shows up. The bassist starts shooting at him and shit. And I don't know if you've read the book or...
I started to. I think I ended it right before that. Like when Rey and Finn got off the planet before they got nabbed up by Han's cruiser.
I'm so happy they shortened that. Or maybe did they lengthen the book just to like make it...
No, that's a question that I really don't know, because I have to imagine that the movie has been... Like the script has been finalized and maybe they end up cutting out deleted scenes, but they make it into the book anyways. I really don't know how they do that.
Yeah, and it's obvious. I mean, it's a book, so you want it to be longer and more in depth. But they added like the first conversation between Laura Santeca and Poe was about triple as long.
Yeah.
And then Finn and Poe was twice as long. And now this one, it won't stop. I'm like getting to the point where I'm like, they have to start shooting at each other at some point. Because they just keep going back and forth. They're like, you owe me this money, I'll get you the money. Well, what about that droid? I'll get you the money instead. We'll take the droid. But this is my droid. Where'd you get it from? It's my droid. I told you. And it's just like, okay, guys, shut the fuck up.
I never made a deal with Contra Club. Tell that to Contra Club.
Yeah. So
tell that to Kerner Club.
That's actually the first time like I completely liked the movie better. I'm like, just shut the fuck up. You're saying the same shit.
Yeah.
Like, give me the money. I don't have the money. Give me the droid. You can't have the droid. We'll tell that to Contra Club. Contra Club's not here. Give me the droid, guy. You can't have the droid. Like,
Contra Club's right fucking there through the door. Open the door.
Yeah. They do kind of talk about like, which is kind of cool because Contra Club has always, or the Guavian, what the Jabba the Hutt Guavians?
Guavian.
Guavian Death Gang talks about like, I've never known Han Solo to company a droid. And it's just like, that makes a lot of sense because he's never been with a droid ever. And he's pissed like about when C-3PO walks in, you just feel Han Solo's rage just get to a fucking ultimate level. Even if the droid's helpful, like C-3PO is just like, hey, you should probably fix it this way. He's like, shut the fuck up, Chewie. We should fix it this way. Like he just, yeah. So it kind of plays off that, which was cool. But
I wonder if we'll see some Han Solo droid animosity in the Han Solo movie. Which, oh yeah, that's the big news. We got to talk about that.
What?
The title. Which I actually was kind of assumed that they would make it this title. But the Han Solo movie, by the way, if you haven't seen on Twitter on Tuesday, it's officially called Solo. On a Star Wars story.
On a rating, 1 to 3. What's your rating on that?
On the title?
Yeah.
1.
1. I'm
Full
so
title,
happy you didn't say 2 because that's a bad name. Well, and it's simple, it's to the point, but like Rogue One made so much fucking sense. It's not a character, it's like they're the title of the squadron that like does everything and creates the next fucking saga. You're over here just saying, oh, it's about Han Solo, what would you call it? Scruffy bitch. No, Solo. Okay, yes.
Scruffy bitch would have been great. Would have got a lot of sales. I'm more mad about the Star Wars story tagline than I am about the actual name of the movie.
I feel like that's just going to be a part of it.
It is,
and the next one's going to, because I feel like regardless, whoever the next one's what? Kenobi.
Kenobi, a Star Wars story.
Like there's no creativity behind it now.
Yeah, that's the one thing that bugged me. As soon as that came out with Rogue One, not only does it sound like a very kids-centric type of title, like a Star Wars story.
No, that part of it, yeah, I hear
it sounds very kiddish, and I get that Star Wars is not like a specifically adult thing, so I understand. But it just doesn't sound...
I understand.
No, it doesn't sound like it fits. Like Rogue One, a Star Wars story, doesn't really fit. It's just fucking Rogue One.
So here our followers are getting pissed here. So Dakota said so much potential and they chose Solo.
Mm-hmm.
I'm completely on board. And Handful says Solo equals the biggest meh ever.
Yeah.
I'm completely on board. I completely agree because they could have give us like Rogue One. Before we watched it, we didn't really know what that meant. So it became a title that made sense.
Yeah.
Solo is just like, hey, let's make it, or this, what's this movie called? This movie's called Light Bulbs. What's going to be about? Light bulbs.
I just thought of something
terrible.
I just thought of something interesting with Rogue One. So, from things that we've seen in Rebels, the rebellion is trying to establish itself as a formal political group, getting bases and planets to their side and trying to make a formal effort against the Empire. And what I think is really cool is that Rogue One finally put a group of rebels that weren't officially rebels, but were still against the Empire. They had a cause that was strong enough for them to fucking get together and go to Scarif and blow this shit up and get the plans and everything like that and get them to Leia. I think that was cool, but we finally saw the rebellion actually being like conniving and rebellious and like
doing what they need to do.
Exactly. Instead of trying to make it like a political fucking force against the Empire, they were actually going like undercover and like black ops stuff that we see with Cassian and Jyn and everything. I don't know if I even realized that before now with the amount of times that I've watched it, but I just thought that was cool. And that symbolizes the title of the movie a lot more than that I thought ahead of time. And now I'm thinking, as I say that maybe Solo is a good choice, because when we see the movie, maybe Solo will be like, Han is super selfish and individualistic and like is trying to be by himself on this journey as a smuggler. And then he finally like ends up saving Chewie or something, and Chewie gives him a life debt, and then he realizes that he can't be a fucking dick for his whole life in order to survive. And then we see him catch up with him in 4. I don't know. We got to see the movie before we can really judge the fucking title. But if it's literally just called Solo because his last name is Solo, I'm going to be pissed.
Kerner said Day One Awanga, a Star Wars story, a whole movie based on Bib Fortuna.
I'm okay with the Bib Fortuna movie. That'd be awesome.
But I feel like so now with this cookie cutter piece of shit title, now like from here on out, it's going to be Kenobi. Star Wars story.
It's a very bad precedent. Story. It's a very bad precedent to state when a lot of the third confirmed spinoff movie is Obi-Wan, and Fett is still rumored, and of course there could be or maybe will be more spinoff movies. It's a bad precedent to set when they're all going to be focused on a character. You're just going to name it after the character, a Star Wars story. It's boring as fuck.
I can't say it any better than one of these dankuses said, Dakota said, so much potential and they chose Solo.
Yeah.
You had so much opportunity for creativity to make something awesome and he just went.
The thing that I really like about Rogue One is that Jyn and Cassian are main characters, but it's really not about Jyn and Cassian. Like, Jyn is there because we need to feel that connection between her and her dad and their desire to rebel, but her dad's tied into the Empire, so they can't exactly rebel. Like, I understand that there's some tie there, but at the end of the day, the story and the purpose of the movie was not about Jyn herself or about Galen. It was about the fact that a group of people that were not necessarily on board with the rebellion came to understand the purpose of the rebellion, got the plans, fucked people up, sent them to the ship, and then eventually the Death Star blew up, and that was a big step towards the rebellion. So is the Solo movie going to have any overarching plot line like that, or is it just going to be about Han? Because what I think should have happened is like something that happens in the movie itself should have directed the title of the movie. It shouldn't just be Solo because it's Han's last name, and obviously Han's the main character. Like, is there something more important there besides Han himself that should direct the flow of the movie?
I'm going to tell you right now what we're going to be walking into.
Tell me right now what I'm going to walk into with Solo, a Star Wars story.
Fuckery title. Han Solo, the movie, is going to be, we're going to see the piece of shit, selfless, or I can't even talk. He's going to be so into himself, and he's not going to give a fuck about anybody else. He's going to do like a, let's call it a mission. He's going to do a mission, be very... A quest,
thing.
Whatever. But he's going to go through it and fuck someone over just to like get more money or whatever out of it. And then they're going to test him again and throw a wrench into it like Chewie. And so as he goes through it, he's going to fuck over Chewie, and then he kind of like starts, and it's that seed that like, is it planted in Solo that he does the first good thing he's ever done, and he saves Chewie, gets out of it. And that's where we find him all of a sudden on Tatooine, where he's still like 99% a piece of shit, but he did that one good thing, and then it kind of spirals into I like doing good and helping people, and this princess has a great ass. So we'll get into that, but I feel like that's like the cookie cutter what it's gonna be. Now Mopar could be completely wrong, but I feel like as a character development that makes sense.
I can picture that.
He goes from a piece of shit to like 99% piece of shit, but he still makes sense.
I can picture that. The only thing that I would say is that I do not want this movie to lead up close to 4. It won't make sense. Like, I understand the idea to tie the anthologies in with the original trilogy, but
why doesn't that make sense?
Because it's a completely different actor. You can't lead up to a few weeks or even a year before A New Hope. It's not going to look the same. That's not fucking Han Solo, man. Like, I'm on board with them having a new actor if it's young Han Solo. If Han Solo is 30 in A New Hope and he's 20 in this movie, I'm going to be okay with that. But you can't like lead up. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because of Rogue One. Like, we knew it was going to come before A New Hope, but we didn't know it was going to literally lead up to, at the end of the movie, you see the Tantive 4 flying away. It's like fucking 5 minutes before.
Whoa.
Episode 4.
I guarantee you, they're not going to lead directly up to it. But what they're going to do is right after like he gets with Chewie or whatever the fuck happens, he's going to say, "What are we going to do next?" And Chewie's going to go, "Yeah, Tatooine's. We'll head to Tatooine," and that's where it'll end.
No, that's too much, man. That's too much because even then, like, that's only 6 months before they meet up in A New Hope. Like that, he doesn't look like Han. It has to be a young Han, or you can't. Like, it's not going to make sense, man.
So are you? Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Like, he's got to be like 18 to 20 to 24-year-old Han. I can accept that by the way he looks and the way he acts. Like, I'm cool with that. Yeah, it makes sense. And then we'll be able to envision like what he grows to by the time we see him in fucking episode 4.
No one's an a-hole for the sake of being an a-hole. I completely disagree.
For the sake of being, some people are.
Okay, for the sake of being an a-hole, no, but I feel
Later.
like people feel like if I'm an asshole, I can get something out of it and it'll benefit me.
Vader is kind of an a-hole for the sake of being an a-hole.
Hey, I can choke you, so I did. Now you're dead. So how do you feel about that?
I could just demote you, but instead I'm going to choke you across the galaxy and embarrass you in front of your fucking subordinate, and then he's going to get your job. So here we go. Yeah, that's definitely Vader.
Travis Dunn says he agrees with Mopar on a-hole. So yeah, I think there's the fact that you're choosing to be an a-hole to benefit yourself makes it solely for the fact of you're just an asshole.
That's it's a pretty Sith
you're openly,
thing.
Openly doing it. Like, knowingly doing it.
That's a pretty Sith thing. Yeah.
I could just demote you or just say, "Hey, you're fired." But instead, we'll ruin your entire family by exiting your head from your fucking neck.
He could just send a quiet memo and no one would know.
Quiet memo. A hologram. Okay, I didn't appreciate that. You're fired. Just pack your shit up.
Exactly. Hey, don't worry about it.
But instead, he just went,
"Stop."
Remember that time you were breathing and it wasn't right now?
Exactly.
That's forever, bitch.
Yeah, man. I'm actually like I'm not mad or upset or like refusing to see the Han Solo movie for any reason.
We're all going to see it regardless. So you mentioned something. You mentioned something about and we've talked about it in Rogue One, how everything's not black and white anymore.
Yes.
There's a gray area where the rebels are starting to, do things that, isn't just like clear cut and dry.
And in 7 and 8 also too.
Yeah, no, and I agree. But I recently saw shit that like people were shitting on the newer stuff because of that. Like it wasn't good versus evil. And I'm like, that makes it so realistic because nothing's ever black and white. It's from a certain point of view. Like if you, like we've talked about, even though I do disagree with the Emperor thought he was doing good, I still think from his point of view, like he thought he was going to get to a point and like the galaxy might have been better, but he was doing crazy fucking evil shit. And he knew it. Just like the a-hole aspect.
The shit itself was evil. Yeah.
But like people were shitting on the newer stuff, just saying like, I don't like who's good, who's bad. I'm just like, that's the whole like, you're questioning. Oh my God, you there's an epiphany that's happening. You just don't understand it. Like, hold on to your dick and shut the fuck up.
Oh my God, a character isn't 100% fleshed out when you see him on screen for the first time. This is terrible. It's not how it's supposed to go.
Well, it's almost like the fact that they don't know who to root for at this point. Like, okay, the rebels are good, but all of a sudden they're killing people. And
the thing is, like, you root. Like when you see someone on screen, you instantly are attracted to who that character is, or you don't like that character and you want them to lose. Like the first time I see Kylo on screen, it's intriguing to me how powerful he is with the Force. And then throughout the movie of Episode 7, he gets a little less confident as time goes on, a little less strong as time goes on. And I'm involved with that shit, and I like his character more because of it. It doesn't have anything to do with he's a bad guy or he's a good guy. I'm just attracted to his character line as it is.
I wouldn't say he's less strong. You just see that it's a flawed villain, and we don't ever get to see that in the Star Wars universe.
But I'm just saying more up to the line of that he starts awesome and he ends up losing to Rey. That doesn't make me hate his character. It makes me even more intrigued in who his character is. So what I'm trying to say to people that are watching these new things is it's about the characters and the story themselves. It's not about good versus evil. Who the fuck is Rey's parents? Who is she going to become? When she finally finds Luke, he realizes her potential, but refuses to train her, and she has to go somewhere else or completely abandon the hope of being a Jedi or whatever the fuck it's going to be. When Kylo maybe turns on Snoke because he's being a fucking wrinkled bitch and he won't teach Kylo the true ways of the Force. Like, you have to be invested and involved with a character themselves and where they're like headed and their storyline in a movie. It's not about good versus evil. It's about the characters individually.
I don't know, man.
I know. I just said it.
It's the same fuck dicks that are mad about the new AT-AT fucking things. Because it doesn't make sense. They're bigger and stronger. Of course they are. Well, of course they are. What are you talking about? It's like 30 years ahead. They're going to have bigger cannons. They're going to be more mobile. And they're going to be bigger in general. How does that not make sense technologically?
I don't understand. It's only been 30 years, but they look similar. I don't get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck. But it's like,
stop going to the theater and go fuck yourself. Get out of here.
It's the same movie. Now with the whole Star Killer base and Death Star, we agree. But outside of that, like, just come on, guys. It makes sense technologically. If you're in a universe and you have something, and 30 years later, what's going to happen? Well, it's probably going to get better, faster, and if it's a cell phone, it's going to get smaller.
What? Even to your point about Star Killer Base, though, like, hey, we got some fucking giant death systems. They worked.
Death systems.
Well, yeah. Let's just go ahead and make another one. Why not?
Let's one up them and just the planet's already there. Let's just build around it.
Tommy Boy's pissed. No, I'm salty at those fuckers. They just don't understand. You don't understand like narrative and like mythology and archetypes. They're there for a reason. The way that these people are supposed to be introduced and their development over a trilogy, it works for a reason. The fact that Rey is just like Luke is on purpose. Like JJ did that on purpose because everyone liked Luke for a particular reason. Like, you just gotta fucking enjoy I'm just fucking pissed right now. Go talk.
I think I understand their argument. I don't agree with it, but I do understand it that, like, of course it's on a desert planet and she's poor and she doesn't know what's going on and she's super strong and she doesn't know about her family. And it's all, I mean, there are glaring, and of course, you know, it was a droid that brought specific details to her or to him. And it was like, oh, wow, after you said all that, this sucks. But at the same time, it didn't. Like, it was entertaining to watch. It moved the plot along. It created new characters that aren't specifically exactly Luke and Han. What?
It's so dense. Every single image has so many things going on. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
I had to. Yeah, man. I understand. I understand the complaints. Star Killer Base and yet another orphan from a desert planet. Those are two things that are just they're fucking obnoxious. But those are just plot devices to get to the point of the fucking movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I just hope they're not playing too hard off the let's gain more Star Wars fans now, which it probably worked.
I don't know how you can gain more Star Wars fans than you have now.
I'm just saying in a general sense, if a 7-year-old has some Star Wars Legos, but has never seen a movie because his dad's a pile of shit.
And only showed him episode 2 over and over and over and over.
Go to your room, pop into fucking
Pass the punishment.
VHS.
Go watch Attack of the Clones, you goddamn bastard.
On VHS. You can't watch it. Your eyeballs will melt from all the clonage. Oh, shit. Okay. I've had enough of it. We're going to be moving on. We always talk about the shit pots that shit all over the new stuff for no reason. We all get it.
The shit pots.
We're gonna jump into some other stuff that's gonna trigger us. So this is gonna be a good episode here. Unpopular Star Wars opinions. So I brought this stuff up on it's actually Reddit.
You're trying to move on? We're about to get triggered pissed.
Oh yeah. So I'm going to start reading a couple of these off that I know Commander's going to have a shit piss over. So
only to take a shit piss on the first.
Yep. All right. So the first one, I read a couple of these before we started recording, but these are too good and bad at the same time. So one person posted, Luke defeated Vader fair and square in Return of the Jedi.
Bullshit.
None of that Vader holding back nonsense.
That's bullshit.
Yoda and Obi-Wan wouldn't have encouraged Luke to face Vader if they didn't think he had the skill to defeat them. To defeat him.
So this lends truth to two possible arguments. One is Luke is a goddamn fucking Jesus Christ badass that we thought. I didn't think that, but other people thought that.
Nope.
It also lends credence to Vader eventually figured out it was his son and obviously didn't want to kill him and was holding back during the fight. I think that was the more reliable of
it takes
stories.
So much away from Vader. He is the most murderous asshole. And I know, and I agree that the Emperor is stronger, but he does not have the absolute rage until it gets to that point that he's challenged. Vader is just a rage machine. Like, you don't even have to, he stubs his toe, 3 people drop dead on the Death Star for no reason. Like, he just fucking doesn't care. He is an energy of hate. He doesn't fucking care. The fact that is true takes so much away if he just legitimately tried to kill Luke and Luke was like, look, I'm up here in the rafters, bitch. I ain't gonna fight you. I quit. But by the way, I beat you. No, shut the fuck up.
I do wonder sometimes, though. Vader does look like a fucking wounded dog at the end of that fight. But I also chalk it up to goddamn 1977. No, that was 83, whatever. So a lot of this stuff is like, yeah, that happened in 83. But if you think of all the canon comics and books that we have about Vader, no, he's not going to fucking give up like that. So you got to wonder, the way it was filmed in 83 versus the full, complete backstory that we have written over the past 30 years of Vader. Does he just weaken himself because he knows it's his son and he doesn't want to fucking kill him?
There's no weakening yourself. There's you want to kill him or not, and he didn't want to kill him from the beginning.
Well, that's what I mean by weakening himself. He didn't want to kill him, so
he had him in fucking shackles on Endor. He could have just said, you know what? You've been a big fucking pain in the ass, and I know the Emperor said to bring you to him, but if I just fucking killed you right now, everything would have ended. But instead, he fucking follows the rules because he's being a bitch about it. If Vader wanted to kill Luke would have ended up a dead and burning body on Endor with the fucking scrub-a-dub Ewoks.
But then that means that Vader didn't want to win the fight, and then I'm sad because Vader's supposed to be an awesome badass and kill everything.
It's family. That's the only reason. He was so entrapped, and that was kind of the core value of Anakin that kept him sane, and actually what the Emperor twisted, because he wanted to keep his family alive, his wife alive, and his kids, and it's the key value that he twisted. And then at the end, that's the thing that unraveled him.
Yeah, it was all a test. So Palpatine was trying to figure out, can you withstand the torment of killing your own son? If not, then you're not worthy, and I'm going to take fucking Luke and corrupt the fuck out of him. But he obviously did not expect Vader to turn on him, on Palpatine and throw him down the fucking shaft of endlessness.
Guess what Kylo did that Vader couldn't?
Killed his fucking dad.
Killed his family member, yeah.
Kylo fucking killing it, dude. I love Kylo Ren. I'm so excited for him.
We got to do a big shout out because Logan Mars actually joined us live.
Yeah.
He posted a unpopular opinion up here. He said, "I think CG ruined the Hobbit movies. I think the Hobbit movies were bad to begin with.
They were terrible always, but yes, I agree."
Yeah.
We had a few episodes about that.
It's difficult for me not to shit on those movies. Well, as I say, like I like the Lord of the Rings, but I'm not a huge watch them. I don't remember the last time I watched Lord of the Rings. Like maybe 2 years ago.
I wouldn't say that CG ruined the Hobbit movies. A lot of fucking other bullshit ruined the Hobbit movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they had a good balance of practical and CG in the Lord of the Rings.
No, I do. I like your opinion, man. I don't have to agree with it to like it. That's what's wrong with the fucking universe right now. I have an opinion. So do I. Well, it's different. Well, I hope your parents die tomorrow. Like, what the fuck just happened?
Exactly.
Like, we can have different opinions.
We can't have a conversation. So fuck yourself.
There was one that I know people were gonna get triggered on. Let me find this. God damn it! Here we go. Okay, this. I'm going to leave it open. I almost called him. Whether or not Han shot first is completely irrelevant to his character arc.
Fuck you. I hope your parents die. I'm pissed.
I am dude. What the fuck are you talking about? That completely, like the whole character, the character as a whole, maybe not.
It's 100% relevant because the reason that Lucas changed it in the first place was that he thought it made Han look too savage and fucking bloodthirsty. That's why it was changed in the first place. So of course it has an effect on goddamn Han Solo's character. Also, it makes him look like a bitch when Greedo shoots and he fucking moves his head to the side. I heard actually an interesting thing. The argument shouldn't be whether Han shoots first. The argument is that Han shoots. Because in the original, Greedo doesn't fucking fire at all. Han just shoots. Doesn't fucking bob his head to the side. Like, I can't even do it.
That's true. It shouldn't be Han shoots first. It just says...
Just Han shoots. Yeah.
It should just say Greedo's dead.
Fuck Rhodians.
Okay, here's another big one. Because that's an obvious, like...
Yeah.
I don't think anyone's arguing against that outside of this dangus, but yeah, I think it does change everything. It really does, because that's the first time you see him.
Yeah,
even before he talks to anybody, right?
Jesus, man.
No, he's getting up to leave after he talks to Obi-Wan.
Logan's pissed as fuck right now.
All right, so we've got this one's going to trigger a bunch of people.
I'm ready.
This guy says, "I like Hayden Christensen's acting as Anakin. Really, I do. His vocal delivery is actually very precisely calibrated to match that of Darth Vader in the original trilogy, which is a fascinating choice by the character. He plays it low key, but brings up the drama level when necessary. I think that a lot of the hate towards him is a result of a general dislike for the prequels. His acting is easily as good as Carrie Fisher's. I've never heard that argument because it kind of almost is. A lot of her shit is very cringeworthy. Like the whole peeking around the corner on the fucking Tantive 100.
I think a lot of the prequel shit is the script.
No, and I completely agree because even Obi-Wan, Ewan McGregor,
Ewan McDonald was like the perfect choice for Obi-Wan.
And he is Obi-Wan. But with that said, Hayden is Anakin. That's how I fucking pictured him.
That's crazy thing.
He embodies it perfectly.
Complain as much as you want, but like Ewan McGregor is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Alec Guinness is old ass Ben for a half hour until he fucking evaporates. But Ewan McGregor is Obi-Wan Kenobi. And Hayden Christensen is Anakin.
Yeah.
Until he turns into Darth Vader.
Well, the same thing with Qui-Gon and Mace. Like, you don't see any other act. It's not even close.
Yeah.
It's not even close. When I say Obi-Wan Kenobi did this shit, you picture Ewan McGregor going out there in his fucking leotards and doing it.
Yeah, I know I had a streak on the show, like episodes like 20 to 40, like way back in the day, where I was piss poor bullshit about the prequels. But like I've watched them alongside 7 and the original trilogy recently, and it's just like they're just different. It's always just different complete eras of filmmaking, which is, you got to remember, that's part of the process. It's like, what was filmmaking like in 99 when they released episode 1 and the whole prequel trilogy? Like it's so fucking different, like, man.
The Matrix. You gotta think
graphically, you can't fuck with episode 1, man. Like in 99, if you go watch Phantom Menace and then Matrix back to back, like just calm the hell down, man. That shit was a great movie. But I'm talking more about the storyline and the acting, and when people say like I've heard before, episode 1 is 20 minutes of content poured into a 2-hour movie. I'm just like, whoa. You've seen episode 4, right? The original, where they spend a half an hour in the goddamn trash compactor. You've seen that movie, haven't you? You've seen that shit, right? Calm the fuck down, man. Episode 1 is, if you watch it in the correct light, it's fantastic, man. Just watch the movie with no baggage at all. It's great. Fuck everybody.
I got Logan Marr says that he'll be back later. Listen to you Gillians tomorrow at work. And he said, I hope your parents live.
I never been called Gilligans before. I love it.
Gilligans. I even said it wrong. I said Gillians. Gilligans. That's funny. All right. Let me find a couple more here.
Yeah. Let's get more pissed.
Wow, people are mad at that, Hayden Christensen. People are.
Kerner just said Alec Guinness doesn't have an English accent at all. The motherfucker's English. What are you talking about?
He doesn't really, though, when he speaks in a movie.
How drunk are you right now?
I'm a little bit. Why?
Not you.
I'm kidding.
Lord Kerner is fucking on acid right now. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Ooh, this is a harsh one too.
All right, let's do it.
Practical effects are overrated.
They're not overrated.
I wouldn't say they're overrated, but when you're talking about practical effects from 77, 80, and 83, they can look bad.
They can.
And while they made a lot of fucking sense, if we saw it in 77, it would have been like, holy shit, that is a Yoda walking around talking about people.
That's not a valid argument, though, because that changes every fucking year, man. Like, Avatar does not look as good now as it did when it came out in 2007 or whatever.
But that's not practical effects.
I'm just saying effects in general aren't going to look that same way, except for the year that they came out. They always get better. Even practical effects.
Look at Unkar Plutt. No, they don't.
It wasn't practical effects.
He looks like a 1977 Yoda. He looks like a puppet.
That's his own fault.
for
stealing the goddamn Falcon. He's pissed.
What species is Unkar Plutt?
That's a good question. Oh, I have a ship now. I got the quad jumper in X-Wing.
That's my ship. What does he yell?
We might in that quad jumper.
The gobble
Crow loot. The crow loot species. A hulking aquatic sentient species from the planet Cruel.
He's aquatic?
Yeah.
He's living on a desert planet? No wonder he's pissed off.
He comes from an aquatic planet and he's living in a goddamn desert. Yes, you're correct. Of course he's pissed as fuck always.
Mm-hmm.
That's mine! Anyways, fuck, I'm not going to talk about Unkar Plutt all day. I don't know, man. I just think nerds are savage and they have obviously nothing better to do than complain about whatever comes out that they go see and spend money on anyways and buy the Blu-rays for and analyze and watch 20 times, but they just want to complain about it anyway. So.
Here's one that we actually agree with. I like the EU novels more than the movies.
Okay, it's a hard... All right, this is the difficult discussion because what constitutes, at this moment, what constitutes EU? Tell me.
Well, true, but any of the stuff that was like novel before episode 7 is EU.
Because like obviously KOTOR stuff, Old Republic stuff, Bane,
Plagueis,
like the Darth Maul books, some of the Clone Wars books with Mace and Yoda. Yeah, for sure. I agree 100%. But there's a lot of new Jedi Order stuff that's pretty fucking absurd that I'm not mad about isn't canon anymore. And that whole thing about like Palpatine has a clone and then there ends up being like a dark side version of Luke, but his name is spelled with 2 U's. It's Luke. Like there's some goofy shit that I'm pretty happy is not in the storyline anymore. So you have to kind of define what's EU and what's canon.
Pissed.
You could say like a version between Legends and canon because there's a lot of EU canon stuff like the Phasma book and the Leia book, Bloodlines and Battlefront and stuff like that.
I don't know, man. It's all shit. I hate Star Wars.
Yeah.
So
I'm pissed
this one's
about
a
it.
very unpopular opinion, and I actually agreed with it at one point, and I probably still do. This guy says, I think Darth Vader's helmet looks stupid. And we've talked about this because of Darth Vader's bug eyes. It bothers me. It really does.
You've talked about his bug eyes. I don't dislike his helmet, but I can't stop noticing the neck flap now that Rogue One is out. I hate the fucking neck flap.
I really think overall his helmet just is very iconic.
I like his helmet.
And I don't dislike his helmet, but I just don't think it's as cool as any other helmet. Like I like Kylo's helmet better than Vader's. The bug eyes
I agree.
And like the triangle small mouth that juts out. Maybe the whole aspect of that was to make him look less human at that point. So he looks a little more droidish. Because he's supposed to be more machine now than Dick. But that might be the episode of the podcast.
No. I like Vader's helmet. Even now, I'm looking at it right now. The neck
I like the
flap,
physical helmet part. I think that part looks cool. His face,
nope.
I've always had an issue with.
Nope. I like it.
Okay.
The neck
Unpopular
flap.
opinion,
The
man.
neck flap is unfucking forgivable, but I like his helmet in general. Yes.
Yeah, it's something about it. The bug eyes, in the mouth jutting forward. It looks almost like a World War II gas mask, the way it juts forward. And it might be based off of something like that, but it's never been my favorite. Revan, Kylo, I love it.
Yeah, I would definitely say that I like Revan and Kylo better.
I don't
clone
hate helmets better.
Well, yeah, you can't top the clones. Fuck everything else.
Pissed.
If you don't have clones, you have nothing
4 or 5?
else. Yeah, if you don't have clones, you have nothing.
I like still a chance to say it. I like Lando's helmet in the Return of the Jedi better than this.
Yeah, I want that motherfucker's helmet. No, man, I like Vader. I like it. You know what I did see though is a motherfucking Black Series Vader. So I was trying to claim that, the Black Series stuff looks better. Yeah, that's great. But fucking Vader had a sash, a velvet fucking sash that went from his cape over his armor down to his belt in the Black Series one that I saw. And I was like, I'm not going to buy this. He doesn't have that in the movie. Why would you add it to the goddamn action figure? It makes no sense.
Here's another quick one. Someone says, I'm fine with midichlorians.
I'm fine. Hey, I said that. I'm done. That's it. Next.
Yep, Commander's unpopular as fuck.
Next.
No, I think it works. I think the fact that they had to describe how the Force works is shitty, but the way they did it, I'm okay with. I just felt like that's like a core of Star Wars. You don't need to know how the Force works because that leaves it more mystic.
I will say, in the defense, that episodes 4 through 6, so the original trilogy is obviously a little more mysterious. Part of the goal of the prequels, from what I've seen from Lucas, was to go back and explain some things in detail. And with that regard, if you think about the prequels in that light, explaining the midichlorians, I don't think it really takes away from that thing. Doesn't take away from the Force. Like, that was kind of...
You know what's
like
you know what's interesting, though?
Well, tell me about what's interesting.
So
I want to know.
Qui-Gon was the midichlorian queen. So he was like the one that like talked about it and described it and actually told Anakin about it.
Yeah.
Beyond that, do we really think the Jedi talk about midichlorians and how that shit works all the fucking time? Because as the Jedi Order died off, I assume the reasoning behind the Force may or may not have died off. Because I don't think for how dumb or I don't know. I'm just going to say it. I don't think the Emperor knows about midichlorians. I feel like he's just mad.
Nah.
Do you think that's an open known thing?
Yeah, like fucking goddamn Adams.
Well, and to shit on my own story, Plagueis was a midichlorian king, and he fucked with it all the time. But that's also non-canon right now.
Well, true, but I just think that the prequel trilogy was a... All right, so it seems to me that the prequels were a chance for Lucas to go back and explain in detail the entire purpose of his universe of Star Wars. Like, I guess it's really hard to say without being there, like on set and stuff with him in the 70s, as to how he actually felt about it. But it seems from the way that they were shot and from like the freedom that he got from the studio, like back for the original, was like, it was a huge gamble, and he was restricted in terms of what he actually showed versus what was in his head about this whole story that he concocted. So the prequels seemed like a chance where he was finally in 100% complete control. It's his script. It's his movie. He's directing. Everyone has to adhere to his rules about the universe. And he had a chance to go back and explain in detail everything that he wanted to just have as the foundation for Star Wars. And he did that. And that's where people get fucking pissed because it's way different from the originals. I get that. But yeah, in terms of the midichlorians in that sense, I think it was just him trying to flesh out in way more detail than needed to be there the fucking Force.
Here's another quick one.
I don't want to hear it.
Well, it might not even be that quick.
I don't want to hear it. All right, let's go.
The Jedi were vastly overpowered in the prequel trilogy. I think it makes sense, though, because we're supposed to be talking about like the peak of the Jedi Order. So I feel like while I do not wholeheartedly agree with that, I do think you have an idea there, because they're gods. They walk in, take shit over, walk the fuck out. Like they're basically untouchables.
As long as I can say that they were overpowered, but they still fucking lost to Order 66. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and that was going to be my legitimacy of that part, is the fact that it was regular clones taking them out.
Clones and not fucking around, man.
Non-force sensitive people taking out Jedi, especially Jedi Masters. Like Plo Koon was killed in that shit. Was Ayla actually a master?
Yeah,
she was. So yeah, we're talking about Jedi Masters that were taken out. Because I think it makes sense with like Sidious taking Mace out, because he's like arguably number one of the most strongest Jedi, but like obviously Yoda's been around for 200 more years.
According to Stupendous, it's Yoda, and then Mace, and then Dooku. Actually,
okay.
In terms of lightsaber combat skills.
Yeah, I mean, you can't put Obi-Wan up there because Dooku made him look like a bitch twice.
And Anakin only beat him because he was pissed as fuck.
Well, then Anakin should be above him.
My powers have doubled since the last time I count.
Then like I said, Anakin should be above Dooku. Why didn't Stupendous Full of Dicks talk about that?
Well, maybe he did, and you don't know.
We got to have him back on because we got a lot of questions up in the air.
Yeah.
Sidious didn't defeat Mace. Ooh, piss. Someone's tabbed me or hammered.
I gotta pause. Keep talking to the fuckers.
I don't want to talk to these guys. Guys, you know what happens? Commander's got to go do what he does. We don't need to talk about it. Hammered. Oh, man. We're going to be wrapping up here probably in the next 10, 15. Appreciate everybody being on. You guys are awesome. Our live shows have never been this active. So we appreciate everybody being on because this is fucking awesome. I'm not saying anything else. Sidious did not defeat Mace. Yes, he did. Anakin defeated Mace. Is that your argument? Is that your argument? You're suggesting that Sidious was actually trying against Mace? Because I don't think he was. I don't think he was. These guys are all so hammered, clearly, because they're unforgivables.
Sidious did not defeat Mace, but he should have.
No, Sidious defeated Mace. One way or another. Maybe it wasn't direct, but Mace had him on the ground because Sidious allowed it.
Handful must be hammered because he said Mace defeated Mace. Yeah.
I mean, I agree with that.
I'm pissed. I got you.
Vapod plus
Shatterpoint. Yeah.
He's undefeatables.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think he did. I still think he did.
What I'm doing right now, I want to know because I've seen this this graphic before. Let's see, Rotten Tomatoes.
But
I want to take an actual quick look at it. So Rotten Tomatoes, Star Wars. They've got to have them all on here, huh?
I hope.
I just want to quickly look at if we were going off their rating.
They have episode 4 as number 1, right?
No. Let's see. Episode 4 is at 93%. Episode 5 is at 94%.
Oh, yeah.
Episode 7's 93%. So they actually have episode 7 tied with episode 4.
Nice.
Episode 5's the top. Revenge of the Sith is 79%.
That's not bad.
Not terrible. Rogue One's 85%. So they're saying 5, 7, 4, Rogue, 6.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, these dropped drastically. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1, and then the Clone Wars movie was at the very bottom.
Is that right? Where's one at? 55%. They're saying it's that bad.
They're fucked. They're complete fuckers. 1 is so much better than 2.
I think we've turned a lot of people over to that because I think people shit on 1 more actively, but when you look at 2, come on.
I wish
just
there
doesn't
was
hold up.
I wish there was a way around that because you got to think like that literal hate on the hate on 1 is because Star Wars had a giant frickin' it had baggage in the good way. It had good baggage with it. It came back in 99 And I don't want to say it didn't live up to people's expectations because I couldn't tell because I was 11. But it was completely different in so many ways. So people were instantly just like fucking pissed about it,
just like
regardless of the quality of the movie that it was. It just
like Seven.
Yeah, even worse actually.
It's different. It's a different movie.
Well, I should say the hate for Seven is worse. Because you make the original trilogy. I feel like I'm fucking repeating myself every fucking week. You make the original trilogy. Yay, everyone's the best movies ever. Make the prequels. Hey, this sucks. It wasn't the same. Make 7. Hey, it's the same as the originals. Well, you copied that shit. What the fuck? I'm pissed about it.
Yeah.
I bitched for 15 years about the fucking prequels, and then you tried to help me remember my childhood, and now I'm pissed. Yeah, I just feel like I've talked about that for years and years and years and years.
Episode 8 has like a pre-rating of 99%.
I'm going to rate it 130,000%. Because I'm going to like it. I don't care. I don't know.
I like it. Awesome. All right, you danguses. We're going to be winding down on this one. We appreciate everybody that's been... we've got Team Jahammy. I don't know what that means. In the comment section, we've got a bunch of danguses, great peoples up in this bitch.
Fuck yeah, danguses.
Thank you guys for tuning in, episode 121. Jesus, guys. Let me tell you about one time that we started a podcast 3.5 years ago, and we got to 120-something episodes. Well, I don't remember any of it.
I don't even... What, we here to do a podcast? What?
Who are you?
I don't get it.
Where am I? Last thing.
I can't believe how much hate there is. All right, go ahead.
I'm gonna tell. Oh, we got Jahami. If I watch now, does that mean my drive tomorrow will be boring? Oh, Jahami, who are you?
Team J.
Yeah, so you guys, a listener? Yeah, we like people that shout out and say something. No, we appreciate everybody tuning in. All you live fuckers are awesome because me and Commander bounce shit off of each other. We have the peanut gallery over here tuning in and announcing truths in the comment section. So if you guys want to catch us live, you guys can head on over to YouTube. Rogue Squad Pod or Rogue Squadron Podcast, and you'll get a little notification when we go live, which has been Sunday nights around 8 p.m. Eastern. So
true.
I met up with Commander once at Frank's in Cali. I gave him Nux and left.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that was that dude. That's hilarious, dude. I can't believe you walked away. So when I was at Frank & Sons, that like nerd swap meet in LA, when I met Deadpoolio and JD 80, 40, Flirty, Thurkin, fucking 80, 27, and Riley and shit. This dude tweeted us like that morning. He was like, yeah, I want to meet up. And I was like, cool. And it's like, I'm in fucking aisle 8B. And he walked up. He's like, hey, Commander, what's up? And we fist bumped. And then I turned around to look at a toy. And then I turned back and he was gone forever. Oh my God, it's so funny. Like he tweeted me so many times to make sure that we met up and then he disappeared instantly. He fucking vanished. I'm so glad that you're here, man. I wish we would have had a chance to chat, man. Frank & Sons.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's
finally the unknown soldier shows himself.
The unknown soldier. I love it. Oh,
all right, guys, we're going to be tuning out. Thank you guys for tuning in. Rogue Squadron Podcast. Last but not least, our beer reviews. Commander, what do you got?
Proliferous from Seventh Son. It's a double IPA that doesn't taste like a double IPA. I recommend it. 3 stars.
Mopar's got Star Hill Brewing, their Resonant Imperial Red IPA. 3 out of 3 stars. Very extreme drinkability with, it's about the same, about just under 8%. But yeah, smooth, not as bitter as most of the other IPAs. Very, very good. Blended well.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Remember that one time
that we did a podcast
and it just ended?
And we're still doing it?
Me neither. All right, guys. We about to had enough of that. And it just ended.
And we're still doing it?
Me neither.
Nice.
We're not adopting your rating system, Kerner. 1 is child Anakin, 2 is fucking Padme's tits, 3 is shut up. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys are all
you, Kerner.
Jahammy Bahamies. It's awesome.
52 and a half days away from the fuck Volkswagens.
Awesome. Oh man, I'm jumping off this shit. I'm tired.
52 days and 22 hours. 22 and a half hours.
Never done math in my life.
Something like that. Yeah, math is hard.
After I said 32 cousins, I quit doing the math.
Math is hard.
Math. All right,
fuckers. Thanks everybody for tuning in. If anyone is still on and is actually a patron, don't forget our patron video. We'll be on Patreon. You have to actually be on Patreon to get the video.
You know who's not a patron, and I'm calling him out, is Nick Kerner.
Kerner, fuck yourself.
No, like literally.
Kerner.
Do it. Kerner, I'm calling you out, you Drango. Oh my Drango Fett. Oh shit. We'll legitimately adopt your rating system if you become a patron.
No.
I will.
No.
Commander's pissed.
Don't commit to that.
All right. We'll think about it if you become a patron.
I'll consider it.
All right, guys.
I'll consider that.
Everybody who's still alive, we'll talk to you in about a minute and a half on the fucking message feed. So appreciate you guys' time.
We love you guys. Thank you so much.
Par is out.